You've reached call in Mockery.
So this is Colin Mockery. We do a podcast every week, right on time for all of you. Before we start, of course, we need to get into, we got special drinks this week.
Yep.
So,
People have been hearing that we like to drink stuff.
Yeah.
We are a mammalian.
Mm-hmm.
We need certain substances to subsist.
Yeah. That's what, I didn't think about that until Liquid IV started.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you need to be hydrated. And
Yeah,
I was like, I guess they never.
Let me write that down quick.
So we've had people sending us stuff, some new things to try.
Yeah.
So we're going to try new things on the podcast. If you send it in, if it's cold, if it seems like it hasn't been tampered with, that's a big proponent too.
If the pop top has popped, we will not top it.
Yes, it's almost like when you get a salsa rojo and you check it and it's like the little top popper. It's already been popped. We will not top it. So this week we got some new drinks from, this is from, hold on, Liquid Death.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
we
cool.
got two new flavors here.
Yeah.
So
What do you got?
This is, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got, yeah. What did you get?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Mine's Convicted Melon.
Yep, mine's unparallelable. We love people sending. It's almost we've almost become lunch break again.
Yeah, which is our.
But the only difference is we drink instead of munch.
Yes.
And of course, it is Colin Mockery, so we will always have phone calls coming in. And I think we have one right now.
Hey, what movies are you guys watching for spoopy season? Are you turning into horror like I am?
Turning into
I'm
horror.
watching The Thing, which I hold up as one of the best horror movies, but it's
Which Thing?
admittedly
You didn't
been
say.
a few years since I've actually
He holds
watched
up a
it.
thing.
This movie starts with Kurt Russell playing chess against a computer, and while he's drinking.
Okay, so the message is so long, my phone has actually gone into sleep mode.
Oh, my Lord.
So I'm just going to pick it back up from there. But this is a reminder to everyone that's going to be calling in.
Keep them short.
Yeah, brevity is the soul of wit.
Drinking a whiskey, and he gets upset that the computer, in fact, beats him, a human, at chess, and his response is to pour a glass full of whiskey into the computer, seemingly destroying it, as this was early 80s technology. It's a bit of an overreaction, I would say. Maybe he didn't go far enough. Maybe we need to destroy technology. Is that what Carpenter is saying? Anyways, like to throw that out. Also, he's wearing a sombrero when he flies his helicopter. How do we not remember this detail from this movie that everyone holds up? Like, he's literally wearing a sombrero in the middle of Antarctica.
I remember
and we're
it.
like, yep, cool. That guy's awesome. Like it. Yeah. I hope you guys are doing all right.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah, doing awesome. It's Christmas.
Yeah,
So
a little confusing. This is, we're getting very, very close to territory I hate to tread into, which is the Die Hard, the Lethal Weapon, even at this point, is a Christmas movie. If you start to even think about saying, well, The Thing has snow in it.
The Thing is a
Christmas movie. I don't even want to. Not even for a kind of not even as a satirical sort of ironic humor do I want to play around in this sandbox or snowbox.
Yeah.
So yes, he does have a sombrero. I don't think this is anything. I think we all remember this very vividly.
That's the thing.
Why it's held up so well.
Caller says, "Why don't we remember this?" It's like, wait, don't speak for me.
Yeah.
What is this?
I know this. Our podcast.
Yeah. Ours. You don't speak for me. I speak for me and for Joey.
There's
When I call into Howard Stern and stuff, I speak for me and for Joey.
When you call into Howard Stern, you do?
You do not speak for us.
Uh-huh.
When I call into the Heartline
Yeah.
at 11 on the local, on the 8s,
Yeah.
I speak for me and for Joey
Yes.
in this podcast. That's what I represent.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. We can edit that out. When I want to talk to locals in my area now, I'm talking to them with my voice and with Landon's voice in mind and the entire podcast in mind. When I do these things on the phone with someone,
Yeah.
when I call them and I complete the phone call, I'm thinking of Landon and I'm thinking of the podcast. I'm also thinking
We're
about
never beating the allegations.
one thing you pointed out, caller, is that he pours a thing of whiskey on his computer, which causes it to be destroyed. And you
Yes.
said something about, and because this is 80s technology, what you're doing is you're saying that technology now, a computer will survive.
Yeah,
having-
we'll survive.
A computer will survive having a whole thing of whiskey poured on it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is true.
You can try it.
Go ahead.
Call in and let us know how it goes.
If you do, I'll say, well, it's your fault for having 80s technology. And you'll say, no, I just bought it. And I'll say, I guess not,
Yeah, maybe.
because or else it would have survived the whiskey. What you're not pointing out is that it would also be very expensive. To have a computer in the 80s was like, compared to, I don't know, being the emperor of Rome. That's how much it costs to have a computer. My parents are always like, I remember computers were a whole room.
Yeah.
I was like, so how would you walk into the room? And they say, nope, the computer was just a room. And I said, so was there a screen? Like the door was a screen? They said it was the room. So I'm like, so did it have a keyboard? Was the keyboard like where was the keyboard? What's the computer? Where's the screen? They just said it was as big as a room. I'm like, the screen was as big as a room? I don't
Right.
understand that.
How'd you get access to it?
Yeah, so I went to IBM, and of course, after coffee, of course,
Yeah. And staying hydrated with
yes,
liquid
with
IV.
Liquid IV, IBM. So I went there and I was like, so these computers were, and they said as big as a room.
I will say one thing about as recently as the Godzilla versus Kong movie. Did you guys see
Yeah.
that? Caller, let us know if you saw that. In that movie, they pour liquid on a computer, and this is a special fancy computer, a future computer. It shuts down an entire city, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Or something. It shuts down the whole building's security and everything. Just a little bit of water into the computer.
which I would assume that's not how that works, right?
I would hope not. As our caller says, that's something out of the 80s, not out of today. But goes to show, even today you can cripple a trillion-dollar company's entire infrastructure with a little water to the computer system.
So what'd you watch?
Speaking of NPR, guys, I watched
What?
Mike Birbiglia's latest hour.
Oh, yep.
The old man in the pool. Now, I always think for some reason that I don't like Mike Birbiglia. And then I watch it and I'm like, hey, he's funny. I think the thing that I don't like about Mike Birbiglia is his name. No, is the last one that came out a couple years ago. He is doing his little voice that he does so much that it's like, okay, I know. I get it. Stop. He does it less in this one. So I like that. And I literally spat coffee out all over my computer while I was watching it. And keep in mind, the computer did not break.
Oh.
So the debate continues, I guess. If it's an 80s thing or a computer or maybe it wasn't enough liquid, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. But then he was on Conan's podcast, and he's talking normally, but then he does a thing when he's like he does. Like I can't even quite get the words out because it's funny. It's just so crazy the types of things that people do.
He's going into his character.
Yeah, but it's like, I know you don't talk like that because you've been talking normal the whole time. But then can I ask you this question, Conan? Do you think you'd be funny if you didn't have red hair? And it becomes unfunny to me. He's a funny guy otherwise, and then he does it. And it becomes unfunny because I know he's being false.
Yeah, that was sort of my thing with what I should have said was nothing. And I'm like, you're stepping on your own punchline a little bit.
You can't throw it away so much to where we can't even hear it.
By telling me this is funny, but also telling me you can't hear it, it's just not. I'll check this out. He's one of the master storytellers of our time, and I can't wait to get to it.
He is good. It's one of those where you're like, I don't know. For some reason in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't like him, right? But then I'm watching and I'm like, nah, he's funny.
Yeah.
He's got good observations. He's kind of I've also been randomly listening to Pete Holmes' podcast again.
Again?
I did a long time ago. And then he's just
he's been doing that.
An annoying guy. Like, he's funny sometimes, but sometimes he's just so annoying.
When do you think was the last time you listened to it? For me, it was probably 10 years ago.
Probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Who's he still having on?
Just his friends again.
How does anyone know that many people? I was listening to his podcast 10 years ago, and even then I was like, I think he's running out of people.
Yeah.
And it's like 3-hour-long episodes, and then sometimes it's just a guru.
Right.
And I said, I can't sit through a guru.
No more gurus.
No more gurus, please.
But he's a guy too. I watched his stand-up special that's on Netflix, and it's got some funny stuff, but I like him just talking to people more than I like his stand-up.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where it's like, I'd rather watch Birbiglia do his stand-up than hear him talk, and I'd rather watch Pete talk than do his stand-up. And then I did the trifecta. Birbiglia, Holmes, Rife. You know about Matt Rife?
Oh, you did.
I had to. I was curious. Mr. Square Jaw himself.
Getting those numbers up for old Rife man himself.
Well, everyone's talking. He came to Cedar Rapids and it sold out instantly. He's selling out the country. Everyone loves his TikTok videos, his little 40-second crowd work videos. Where
you
he's
do
like,
squats? Yeah. No, I could tell.
It was controversial because people were like,
yeah.
Well, no. Just he's controversial. He's
controversial.
He's kind of the Dane Cook of the modern day, where like he got bigger than he probably should have been quickly because he's handsome. And people say he's handsome. I think he looks kind of weird, but he's handsome. He has mostly girl fans. He got massively big online and then sold out a big tour, and then people go to the shows and find out he's just a stand-up, and the crowd work isn't really what he does, and they're like, well, I thought he would just make fun of us for an hour. It's just people don't understand comedy, I guess, or like comedy shows. So people were mad that his stand-up wasn't reflective of his 40-second TikToks. So then that's a little controversy. And then the special came out, and he's not a very good comedian. So then the controversy was he's doing hacky, like, anti-feminist jokes, which is like, of course, because sometimes comedy is that. But if you're not good at it, it's just bad. And that's most of the special. And then at the end he says, like, he does this long thing about how he got into a fight with someone on the internet, which is always funny to do in your stand-up, something that happened to one person on the internet. It's just so stupid. And then he says something about, well, what do I know? I just do crowd work. And then he drops the mic because he has a chip on his shoulder because people think he only does crowd work, but he wants to be seen as a real stand-up. He's not a very good stand-up yet or ever.
We're rooting for him, of course.
Well, I think he's kind of early on in his career, but maybe not. He's probably been doing it for 10 years for all I know. But then the credits go, and then they show a little bit of crowd work that he does after the show. Yeah! And they only show like maybe 30 seconds of it because, again, crowd work, unless you're a crowd work comedian like Pardo
or
Barry. Even,
and they do specific, like Barry.
Yeah.
We'll just call him
Todd Barry.
Todd Barry will do, it's the crowd work tour.
Yes.
And it's specifically, because you're talking about people that just are on TikTok.
Yes.
And their brains half melted.
Right.
They just see this guy.
Yeah.
Who just started doing, that's his in is, oh, I want to be a stand-up, and I'll start posting videos like these people.
Yeah.
And you're only posting the stuff that gets people to react, which is the, I don't know, the clashing of two people. Isn't that every video? It's like World Star. It's two people fighting, and now it's kind of that, but it's like, what if you fought with an audience member?
Yeah.
And we want to see that. We want to see the conflict.
Yeah, and it's kind of phony.
It's kind of phony.
Yeah.
And it's just shocking, and it's also probably hard to
replicate.
It's
every night.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too is, you have a 30-second clip, and that might be funny, but he probably did that for 15 minutes of like trying so what do you do? Oh yeah. That probably sucks. Yeah, oh, yeah. You have sisters. Yeah. So sisters, that's probably hard to live with a bunch of sisters. You're a man with a bunch of sisters. Yeah. It was actually kind of cool. Yeah. So it's just that for a long time until finally he can pull something out of that.
Yeah.
And not even him, just some people. But you have guys like Pardo, Barry, other people. Those are the big ones. But that do that. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But to go expecting that, especially at like a big theater show, like you can't do crowd work at a theater, can you? Anyway, he does a couple things, and it is funnier than the rest of the stand-up material. I think because he's an improv guy. Like on Wild 'N Out, that's what they do on there, improv. I don't know if it's good or not. That's where he's from. I think certain people have skill sets that are geared towards that. I think he probably is better at crowd work than stand-up. But it's crazy. Anyway, not a very good special. Not very funny. Pete, kind of funny. Birbiglia, very good.
Oh, he dropped the microphone if you weren't watching. Don't you think with some of these crowd work clips, though, the reason why they can be... Because it's hard to... Here's a 30-second clip of a joke I did. And then if someone doesn't like that joke, they're going to be like, all your material sucks.
Right.
Or it's like, it's hard to take a 10-minute set where you're doing a whole thing and clip out a part and have people watch that
Right.
by itself and laugh at it, It's like when they'd show clips for a Comedy Central Presents thing, and you're like, I'm not getting the whole picture, though. You need to watch the special.
Right.
So then they're like, well, what if I just put this clip online where I asked what this guy did. He said, I make condoms. So then all you had to do is like go,
Right.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
And then people go nuts.
Yeah.
Because of something someone else said.
Right.
You're not doing that. It's not like the people that are good at doing crowd work.
Right.
Where they're then just ragging on and they got their jokes, they're throwing them in there, beep it. It's just you kind of reacting to like, yeah, you look like a basketball player. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then people laugh because they're like, he do look like a basketball player.
Yeah.
Because he said he is.
Now, in defense of comedians on TikTok, and I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
But
comedians on TikTok, we stand with you.
I know that part of it is they don't want to burn their material online. They don't want to give away their jokes.
Let it burn.
So because they want those to be fresh. And I understand that. But it is setting a precedent for people who do their only interaction with comedy or stand-up comedy is 60-second clips on the internet. Then they think, and comedians have talked about this now, where people come to shows heckling. Like, more people heckle now because they think, not even in a mean way, they think that's part of the show. Like, they think it's a call and response sort of experience, and it's not.
It's ruining, I think, comedy shows.
Yeah, probably.
People are just, like, talking now. People just talk during shows.
Yeah.
Because they think that, oh, if I say something, like you're saying, even if it's not someone that does crowd work on TikTok, it's probably hard for those people because, like you said, they're expecting that person to then go Raggedy Andy on their little ass. But they just go to a comedy show and they're like, I know what this is. Yeah. They say something not funny or something, and I can give them crap, and then it'll be funny.
Right.
People, mind your manners. If there's anything you take away from this episode, mind your manners. And mind your head. If you're on a ship, well, this has been Colin Mockery.
You didn't watch anything?
Yeah, but what about it?
Come on.
Hey,
we got time.
For spoopy season?
I'm cutting the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right. So I watched The Fall of the House of the Ushers.
Oh, no.
Did you watch this?
Gotta let it burn.
When you fall into somebody, did you burn? Did you watch this?
No. We were going to around spoopy season, but we watched the trailer and said, not right now.
Yes, then that's why we're finishing it just now. And we are well out of spoopy. This is from our collar's mouth to your lips.
Yes, we wouldn't say
from our collar's mouth to your lips, dear listener, spoopy. So, we watched this at my household, and as I told you, yes, we simply watched it.
The Fall of the House of
I feel
Laboda.
as though I'm just watching it. At a certain point, it's like, well, we're 5 or 6 episodes in, right?
Yeah, gotta finish
it. But with these Flanagan joints, right? I feel like everyone, it comes out, and for some reason, we've all decided we're all gonna watch it. It's like a Tiger King thing, where it's like The Fall of the House of Usher came out, and everyone's like, yes.
Well, a lot of people really liked it.
Yeah, but I liked Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
If the end kind of fell off for me, because he tends to drag everything out.
Yeah.
Same with the one before that. I still have not seen the first one, Hill House.
That's the one to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Skip the rest.
But at Fall of the House of Usher, I was talking to a coworker about this too, and he said it does kind of feel like it's just kind of on. Like there's nothing happening where you feel like you kind of know what's going to happen because of the way they set it up. And it kind of does, and it's like, okay, some of it's kind of gory or whatever. Nothing's scary about it. I don't know. I don't know why. And it kind of felt that way when it came out. Everyone's like, yes, House of Usher. And then if you watch it now, they're like, that's old news, as if things are old just because you didn't watch it the second it came out. I mean, nothing has.
I just saw Heat.
Nothing has longevity.
Jim Gaffigan. Nothing has longevity anymore.
So I don't know why. Like, if you don't watch the TV show when it came out, it's like, well, we already all watched that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they made it. You can watch it.
You can watch it whenever. Just don't expect everyone else to be talking about it.
This was his big Netflix thing.
Yeah, his one.
It's his last thing for Netflix.
Right.
And I don't know what he's gonna. I don't know. It was fine.
It was fine. I think people like it because it does feel, not just this specifically, but his work, his works. It feels a little more. There's a little more there than just some of the other Netflix stuff, where it's you watch it and maybe it's just on, but it feels a little more artisty than
because it feels like they're putting out a lot of content. But this one,
this is
fully
prestige.
Formed, yeah. This is their prestige thing. This is what they're putting their money behind, which is true. I don't know. It's starting to feel like a little American Horror Story with all the same people.
Yeah.
And him trying to fit all of them into the story somehow. And I like some of them as actors.
Sure. Only some of them, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100% only some of them. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, this person should never play this type of role.
Yeah.
They cannot do it convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
But there they are, getting paid millions for the world to see. And what am I doing? Sitting in the back of this guy's van doing a podcast on a piece of plywood. We're sitting cross-legged on the ground.
Yeah.
This thing's 2 inches from the ground.
Just a piece of plywood on the ground.
So what do I know?
Not
At the end of the day.
much.
But you've got, of course, the enigmatic guy with a mustache leading the Usher family. You, of course, have the enigmatic, the other lady from Gerald's Game. And then you've got the enigmatic other characters. And then the last episode truly felt like the longest piece of television I've ever watched.
Wow.
Where you get the ending of every single thing. Everything has to be wrapped up by this guy. I don't
See,
need
most
it.
people like that.
But I don't need it. I don't need every single thing to be wrapped up. That's part of life. You don't get that.
Fair enough.
I don't need you to show up and then do another Poe poem. All is black and ne'er do well. Nevermore, said the crow from hell. He stood there. He's just like talking at the camera to me. I don't care. I'm not scared of Edgar Allan Poe. I'm sorry. I read some of the poems. They're basically just A, B. It's like A, B, B, C, C. He's like, I went downstairs to drink some water. I came back up. I saw my fodder. My mother, she laid next to him. Ant-Man's last name is Pym. I'm like, okay, man. Look, I'm sure in 1742, this was the scariest thing you could think of. He's like, it's black as night inside my brain. Go to bed. My last name is Shane. I mean, what is this? I'm reading the book right here.
Yeah.
I'm not picking up all.
Yeah, here's one. Hello, Mutta. Hello, Fada. Here I am at Camp Granada. That's not even scary.
No, I don't
That's
get
nice.
it.
That's cute. Yeah. So I'll watch it eventually, probably, but
Yeah.
it's not high on my list.
There was the episode where they were doing most of the story comes from his poem. There's a Skeeter on my Peter, flick it off. And that was a very interesting episode. If you get around to it, and I get there's the mood, right?
Yes,
it's like we
you
just
have
want
to-
to live in your kind of
Yeah.
freaky gothic modern day world of this cursed family. And maybe I'm not supposed to be terrified by it.
I don't think
maybe
you
I'm
are.
sitting there trying to be scared, but I just I'm still trying to find my place in this world, I guess.
And aren't we all?
Oh, you know what I did watch though before we go? I just remembered. For the first time, 8 crazy nights.
Whoa, the first time?
It's the first time I've seen the full thing. It's a crazy. You know what's crazy?
Don't we quote? It's a technical
Because
foul."
I own the soundtrack.
Oh.
I had a Barnes & Noble gift card in
Yes.
2004 when this movie came out, or whatever, 2002.
Not Starbucks.
It's been like 20 years. Not Starbucks. Cannot use it there. I think it was 2002.
Yeah.
I had a Barnes & Noble gift card, and we went there, and I go to the back section, which all used to be CDs, and you could listen. They had the
Yes,
the
you can
greasy
test it out.
headphones. You could
Yeah.
test it out. You could listen to X and Y by Coldplay. You could listen to. So my dad's like, just get something. Like, we have to go. I think I probably bought The Hobbit, and then it was probably like 4th grade. Bought The Hobbit. Not to
cool.
brag. I didn't understand any of it. And then he's like, get something. And of course, I see the new Adam Sandler album, Inky, 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 and it's got the parental advisory sticker. You've intrigued me. There's going to be something a little dirty on here for this PG-13 movie. Hey, yo. And I go, oh, this is great. So I buy it. It's because it's around Christmas. My birthday's around this time, right?
Yeah.
So it's the holidays, and I'm listening to this Hanukkah CD. And I know all the songs because I listen to them front to back all the time. But I never quite got around to watching the movie.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird? And that just kind of
Little
then
weird,
as the
yeah.
years went by, you
Yeah.
know, it was like a Jessie doll. It kind of fell under the couch, and I kind of dug it out. And then because of our love for the Sandman has been reignited.
Yes.
I was like, I've never gotten, and I don't know if it was just like because it's animated and he's
Yeah.
mean in it. I also don't like holiday movies where someone's mean, like Bad Santa. I don't think that's funny.
But this is a little different.
It is, and I knew that. And of course, I've listened to the song, so I know by the end
He's
good boy.
again.
But man, some of that movie had me just flat on my ass. I was just laughing.
Yeah, it's funny.
Rob Schneider should be in jail. I just want to say that. Yeah. Cannot believe he's just not in trouble for anything.
So what'd you think of 8 Crazy Nights? Funny?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
It's kind of touching even.
Yeah.
At parts.
I mean, there's also a lot of very gross stuff that I just could do without.
Sure.
Whitey, of course. There are things that really disturb me.
Yeah.
And then there's parts of just the Adam Sandler humor that I love so much that just made me laugh.
Yeah.
Especially at one point when people are dancing and the camera's moving up and down with them. I just thought it was funny for an animated movie. There's some crazy stuff in there. It's a great little film, and I've seen a lot of it before, but I've just never seen the whole thing. What are you gonna do? But I will say,
good movie.
This reminded me. Fall of the House of Usher. If you watch it, you get to the last episode. There's a quote in the show
from Edgar Allan Poe
that I think confirms that Mr. Flanagan is a fan of Colin Mockery.
Whoa!
There's something in there, so I feel a little.
This is huge.
I feel a little like I should not have said a few of the things I said about him.
Be a little nicer.
But there is something that he references that is from our show. And it made my jaw drop.
Well, I suppose we have to leave it there.
I think we do.
And I'm not going to watch it by next week, so.
No, I'll just leave it there, and it's up for you, kind viewer, to pick it up, 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 pick it up. And we hope you have a good weeks leading up to the holidays.
Happy holidays.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.